Everyone, peace and love. Once again, we're back with another episode, the fourth episode of My Indie Workspace, brand new web series by Indie Life Mag, and yours truly, Rafiq. What's going on? I got a very special guest with me today. I'm so excited. Longtime friend of mine, Laiya St. Clair. Woo!
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing? Early here on the West Coast.
I was about to say, thank you for joining me on my EST time. You know what I'm saying?
Usually a time for the Lord or for sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I really appreciate it.
And
Thank
for
you.
indie life.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. So listen, what we do here is we meet with folks, entrepreneurs, creatives like Laia, in all sorts of industries and learn more about what they do and how they do what they do, more importantly. So we take a look at their indie workspaces and they show us around, give us a little look at some of the tools that they use online and in real life, and just talk to us about how some of this stuff happens. Because I think a lot of folks in the world, they think these things just sort of come together because they seem so seamless when you're, on camera. It just seems like it just happens, but it totally doesn't. There's a lot of planning, a lot of work, and our girl Laia here is a master of that. So we're going to talk to her all about that and how she got into that space. So I tell you what, I've been working backwards with a lot of people, Laia.
Okay.
All the episodes we've done thus far are 3 episodes in, talking like I'm a seasoned host like you know what I'm saying? All these years, we usually, but we're gonna start from the beginning and go how you ended up out in LA. So you're originally from DC,
Yeah.
but you are definitely a Philly daughter. So tell me about that.
So yeah, my journey to Philly was straight out of college. I graduated Clark Atlanta University, and I wanted to live. Yes, Clark CAU. Shout out to the AUC. And I wanted to not move back home, but I wanted to be close enough. I'm an only child, so I wanted to be close enough to my parents that if they needed me, I could be there, but far enough that we had our space. So I thought Philly, because my godmother Deanna Williams has been, much like me, a Philadelphia daughter for decades, and she also is my role model when it came to radio and other things. And she came to my college graduation, and I was like, godmother, so you got some room up in that house? And she said yes, and I moseyed myself down to Philly and started my career on the streets in the power.
Right. I'm with you.
Are you? See, Oprah was.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. So you moved into Deanna's crib.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I went around trying to interview for jobs just to get on the street team. Because, back in the day, that's how you got into a radio station. You started on the promo team.
How I got started was on the promo team.
Oh, so many people. Oh, my God. Don't make me go through the list. Yeah, so many people.
Listen.
Yeah. And matter of fact, one of the girls that I started out with on that Power 99 promo team, she was my role model in the sense of she was the first person I knew that left Philly and came out to LA to pursue her dreams. Shout out to Cy Wonder.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yes, it is. So that was the beginnings of how I came to Philadelphia. And then I just worked at several radio stations and worked my way up from promo team to I became the producer for the Hot Boys show. Gosh, shout out to people of a certain age from Philly who remember right. And Mikey Dread.
Yes, Mikey Dread.
Yes, and there was an opportunity. Cy, the girl that I mentioned, Cy was the producer of the Hot Boys show, and she left and moved to California. And so there was an opening, and my boss, Simone Tyner, was like, "Hey, you ain't really good at this promo thing. You want to, you can go ahead and try out for that."
That's what's up. So you just worked your way up, like from the mailroom situation. Classic.
Yeah. I remember coming to Philly and somebody told me, they was like, you want to be able to, I started working at Power 99 on the street team in the summer. And they was like, you want to be inside by the fall. Because if you're on the street team, that means you outside in the wintertime. By the time Powerhouse came around in October, I was like an office manager in the.
Right. Smart. Very smart.
Yes.
So tell me, did you already have ambitions? You ended up in radio because of the gig, right? Doing some promo work and Deanna Williams being your godmom. But did you have ambitions in being a radio?
Yeah, I was an RTF major at Clark Atlanta. Even in Atlanta, I worked at WCLK, at in the jazz station, our radio station, and I worked at B103 back when Frank Ski had just got to Atlanta. So, and I was working at the Gold Club in the midst of all that and going to school. No, I was not a stripper. I wasn't proud.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hustling many job, huh? Yes. Jamaican on the low?
Yeah, I mean, my family name is Ewan, so I figure there's some Jamaican in there somewhere.
Got to be. No, that's what's up. That's great. So you had a situation where you had some family that was in the game that you wanted to be in, and you used that to leverage your way up.
In my high school in DC, you were required to do some type of community service, and my community service was for the longest. I was working at the radio station, which was Kathy Hughes' first radio station. So I've been a radio girl. I knew. I looked at my godmother when I was a little girl and was like, "What she do? I want to do that."
That's dope. That's really dope. And so tell me about how it was always in your blood, clearly. And how are you and Deanna God family?
So my father is from New York. Deanna's from New York. My dad met Deanna. Yep, he met Deanna. He was a cab driver in New York. He picked her up when she was a teenager. And that's how they met. He became like a big brother to her. And so when Deanna moved to DC to do radio, my dad was visiting her, and they were at a jewelry store, and my mom was in there. And that's how my dad and my mom met. So Deanna was there when my father met my mother. And so there was no other person that could be like my godmother.
That's crazy. That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. These relationships. Philly, if nothing else, I find that the history and the relationships in Philadelphians, it goes deep in a way that I've just not seen before. I'm from Brooklyn originally. I've been in Philly a long time. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in the suburbs a bit. I went to high school in the suburbs. My grandfather was out there. And I went to Clark, Atlanta. Didn't graduate like you did, but I did go to Clark. Yep. I was there in 99. Yep.
That's when I graduated.
You have to, we'll censor that later.
Okay,
there you go. No worries. Parental advisory. Yeah, but being in Philly, meeting people like Bear and Candace, you know what I mean? Folks that like Alma, that got like long history in this city, and you just find these crazy connections that if you don't talk and just hear all this stuff, you'll never realize how. It's almost incestuous to use, that word. It's just crazy how like deeply connected people are in this city. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it.
Listen, my boyfriend makes fun of me all the time because he's like, "Where are you from? Are you from Philly? Are you from DC?" And I'm like, I'm born and raised in DC, but the relationships that I made and the networking that I did in Philly, I wouldn't be sitting in this seat. I wouldn't be in LA. Come on, man. I'm on a podcast with Jill Scott, Questlove, and Visit Philly. These are all Philadelphia. So I work hard for Philly. I mean, I met Stacy Fly Girl Wilson when she was a waitress at Zanzibar, and I was a hostess.
Right. Yep. And I'll tell you what, a little story about that. When Jill dropped her first album, who was Jill Scott, I was dying. I was probably 22, 23 maybe, and I was dying to get into her album release party. It was a private album release at Zanzibar. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there you look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Tiffany B.
Is that from the event?
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. I was there that night, and I'm telling you, so I'm new to the scene. I had already been doing shows, but I didn't know everybody like that yet. I only knew everybody kind of in passing. So I'm like just calling anybody I can to try to get into this album release because this is Jill. It was like Jill was huge. That club
right on Callow Hill that's been abandoned for like 10 years.
Yes. So what happened? I think I mentioned it to my mom. Like she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to get into this party, at Zanzibar." And she was like, "Well, Robert Bynum is your cousin." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "So we're not cousins, but his mother and my grandmother are like this."
Oh, that's big. That's Philly cousins.
That's Philly cousins. You know what I'm saying? So they all grew up together, came up together. He knew my mom and all that. I had no idea. So she made one phone call, and I didn't even know she was doing it. She hit me up and was like, "Yo, I got you in the event." And
Grandma got you to the event.
my mom did. My mom did. She called my grandmom and hooked up something.
Yeah, that's gangster. That's dope.
Big ups to grandma. My grandma used to produce the Ebony Fashion Fair here in Philly too.
Yo, what's crazy is, so quick story. I met Questlove because my god, Deanna Williams, used to do these music conferences called I Am, the International Association of African American Music. She would either do it in DC or in Philly. And the whole relationship between me and Questlove matriculated through that, because that he started there as an intern. And I remember seeing him at like 12, 13 years old, like, okay, hey, you know.
Wow.
And then as the years went on, it was like, oh, he's doing a showcase with his band. My mom is like, oh, I want you to meet these guys you were running around, you know, but I met these guys and they're really dope. And it was Kamal and Black Thought, you know.
Right.
I met him standing in the line of my godmother's like hotel suite, waiting to talk to Stevie Wonder. I don't know, it's random, but I'm just saying that these relationships, I thank you, God. I just thank God for all these Philly relationships. You too.
And I thank you too. And I give thanks to the ancestors too, yo. You can't make this stuff up. You know what I mean? You put yourself in the right place, but who knows what happens? And the people I've met, I've been beyond blessed. I'm friends with people that I'm impressed with. You know what I mean?
Yes. The girl whose couch I slept on, she better be watching this, Khadijah Brockington. Because when I moved, I know we fast forwarded through my story, but when I got fired, when everybody, because when I left Philadelphia is when the radio station I was working at the time, Hot 107.9, flipped on us and fired everybody. We thought we was going to a office staff meeting. And they was like, we're changing signals and here are your packages, right? So that was me, Shamara, Quincy, Mina, not Mina to say what, but it was everybody. So what's crazy is I said, I'm finally gonna live my dream and I'm gonna go out to LA. And I already had a Philly friend. Shout outs to Ed Crawford.
Big up to Ed. Ed sold me my car, by the way.
There we go. Who was living in LA trying to live out his dreams and whatnot. So he said, come sleep on my couch. And so I did. Ed moved out. He left LA within the 6 months I was there. And within that 6 months, I had already connected, thanks to Philly and Raymond Brockington, to his little cousin, Khadijah, who had moved here for her journey in television. And her journey in television started out in True Blood, right? And she matriculated through the True Blood seasons or whatever. Anyway, I lived on her couch for 2 to 3 years. Like, that's Philly.
Right.
It's my best friend here. Like, it's just.
Yeah. It's really crazy. We could have this conversation forever because there's so many. You just dropped like 4 names that I could tell you 4 different stories about. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, Brock.
We can make this a reunion though. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, radio has always been in your blood. Your family's in it. Your peoples are in it. You're moving your way up, working your way up, doing the classic, you know what I mean, growth trajectory. You know what I mean?
Moving from show. Shout out to Tiffany Bacon, because if not for Inner City, there would have been no Sunday Morning Soul.
Yes, Inner City. Yes. For sure. I was just on Tiffany's. She's on 100.3 this morning, and I was on her show this morning at 8.
Tiffany's a role model for the multi-jobs. Tiffany been doing the multi-jobs. She was doing traffic and everything else when she was doing everything. And still, and guess what, Rafi? Tiffany helped me evolve in a theater setting, because I was in Tiffany and Boomy's theater group. Both of them.
See, I was coming to where. No. It's not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. I love it. This is where I was going to ask you, where did your ambitions around acting come in? Was it the entertainment bug you were around? What made you also want to be an actress? And how did you express that? Were you an actress? Were you in plays and such like that?
Yeah, I think that I always had it in me. I was always a little girl that was in all the school plays. I was always a ham coming down the stairs with my Annie tape, with my Annie dress, singing the Annie songs. I think I fell in love with radio. And then I felt like this was what I was to do, but I always loved the acting space. I always wanted to be the Pine Sol lady. So that was why I kind of moved out here.
Pine Sol lady.
Yeah, I want to do TV commercials. What? Shout out to the Sprint guy. He taught me that. I took classes at Mike Lemon, and we would take like acting. I took commercial acting classes at Mike Lemon. I took improv classes with Philly Improv. but none of that compared to what I learned with Tiffany and Boomy. Because with Tiffany and Boomy, it was just like headline theater was we sang, we acted, we danced, you know? And man, shout out to Kenny and Donnie and all the beautiful Jack Drummond-ness that came out of there. Because yes.
Very, very dope. I love to hear that. Well, that's great. So where did you...
Sorry, we got to shout out Rafiq in our comments.
No, you do. Shout her out. Yeah. Corinne been holding it down. I appreciate you, Corinne. She's been coming in, tuning in, playing our game. We got a little Black Fridays cancel campaign going on right now. She's been shouting us out.
We go back to me and Corinne. I'm like, golly.
Right. Ooh. Good job.
Yeah, let's do the Rafiq.
So listen, the first thing you want to do when you start a podcast is mute your phone. That's lesson 101. That's why we're here. We can hang up now. This is done. As long as you know that.
That's all nervous. And my godmother told me not to do this because I brought this out on. I keep it there. Sorry.
I love it. No, that's dope. So so did you continue acting, or did the radio life take over, or tell me about that?
So yeah, not for nothing. A lesson learned. I feel like career took over dreams in a way. Like I definitely was focusing more on my radio, and I was trying to do both, but I think that stuff always came first, and so I kind of had to be pushed like I was by being fired to go, but still I'm not doing. We'll get to that, right, Rafi? No,
tell me
podcast land.
How did you? Why no acting? It's not
a choice. I came out here and I auditioned a lot. When I first came out here, I took some classes. Man, I know you're not supposed to say this out loud, but I started doing comedy stand-up, because the thing about radio is people don't understand that radio is a lot of writing. So first and foremost, I should say that I'm a writer, right? In radio, we have created from game shows to doing interviews, to doing bits, things of that nature. Like you just and sometimes radio people don't even realize. And I wanted to be one to take those things that I learned in radio and transition it to TV in some form or fashion, right? And so because when I came out here, I had already started writing a couple shows and stuff, and I had great girlfriends like Angela Nizzle from Philly, again, who, if you don't know Angela Nizzle, Google her. She co-created OK Clair, started at Scrubs, and now is the head writer at Mix-ish. But just people encouraging that kind of stuff. But but radio kept calling me. It kept calling me. And now I got 3 radio jobs. And I'm just hoping that somebody sees. And P.S. I also do like voiceovers too. So that was kind of paying the bills a little bit too. Kind of in an acting role.
What kind of voiceover work have you done?
Oh, I did. What's watching? I did a Thermaflu. Is Thermaflu? Yeah, Thermaflu.
Thermaflu.
Yeah. If you get a chance, y'all, on YouTube, just Google "shut the cough up."
Listen, I'm gonna ask my producers hanging on in the back end if y'all can find that commercial. That would be what's up, and posted in the group right there.
Yeah, shut the cough up. That's my voice going. Shut the cough up. Then I did like a couple of NBA commercials. I did, here and there, not as many as I would like to, which is why I got like so many jobs.
Yeah, I hear that. So what was the first podcast, or what was the one radio thing that was going on? Or was there a moment? Was there sort of like man, I have opportunity to do this acting thing or pursue this, but like this thing is calling and I have to do it. What was that one, the gig that came up that challenged you that way?
No, I'm working to get off Khadijah's couch. So whatever was the job to help me do that, that's what I was willing to do. And it's do I tell the real version of this story, or do I prettify? I'm gonna prettify a little bit. So I remember years ago, I was making a drive from Philly to Maryland, and I was listening to Apple Radio or whatever, and Q-Tip had a show, right? Q-Tip has a show on Apple Radio. And so it was so dope. Right. I got so excited that I text Questlove and I was like, yo, it's dope. And if you ever get a radio show, you better include me, right? And then he was like, "Oh, funny you say that. I'm working on a podcast, but like, yeah, it's not really happening for like a year or so. And I don't know, we gonna try, blah, 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 blah." Well, fast forward to like maybe a year and a half.
What year was this? You remember what year this?
I remember maybe 2015, because I got the call from Sean G about the podcast while I was, God, I love Philly. While I was working the DNC, and thanks to Sarah Janet.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, and so yeah, and Sean called me and was like, "We got a podcast." Now, the flip to that story is the first job didn't get me off the couch. Let me tell y'all what had happened was, because ain't nobody watching, it's just me and y'all.
Yeah, it's just me and y'all.
What had happened is that, you know, and it's something, I gotta say, it's something about patience, but perseverance, and then also prayer and having faith in your friends, okay? Because although that didn't get me off the couch, there was a year later when Sean G called me and was like, "You know what? You've been doing a lot of booking." Because when he called me to do the podcast, he was like, "You know, you're the only person that we trust with our contacts, booking people, Amir's contacts, Amir's name in your mouth, you know, just like selling the show or whatever." And so when the opportunity came up a year and a half later, where Quest and Black Thought were executive producing an A&E docuseries called Songs That Shook, Sean was like, "You want a book?" And I was like, "Yes." And this time it wasn't his money. And so that is the job that got me. Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
And Muhammad.
Give them all some props.
Give them all some props, honey.
Getting off the couch.
Yes.
No, I love it. I love it.
That is how I lifted my bootay off of Khadijah's couch. And then came Love and Grit with Visit Philly, this is a baby. We've only been, Love and Grit has only been since February.
Right.
Which when Rachel Ferguson asks you if you want to host a show where you get to brag and boast and tell stories of dope Philadelphians, you go. That already do it anyway.
Right.
Right? Like, so, and then came J.ill Scott, J.ill, about 3 months or 4 months ago.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, we're going to use that J.ill Scott to segue into learning more about how you do what you do.
Oh.
So clearly you've had these relationships. Everybody doesn't have these kind of relationships, but a lot of people are starting.
Don't take it for granted, because these people weren't who they were most of the time when we met these people.
Exactly. Yep. That part. That is it. That is it right there. I was in Amsterdam a couple of years ago, ran into Rich, hit me up, Medina hit me up, and was like, he saw that I posted, I was there. He's like, "I'm gonna be there in 2 days." I said, "Say less," you know what I mean? He shows up, has me meet him downtown Amsterdam. I meet him, and Black Ice is there.
Yeah, because he lived there.
You know what I'm saying? I hadn't seen Black since he left Philly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what in the world? He's like, "I didn't want to say nothing. I wanted to surprise you."
What a surprise. I know you was like,
I was just so glad to see Rich. I was with 2 Philly cats already, you know what I mean? Or cats from Philly. And so just seeing Rich was just dope in another country, you know what I'm saying? So, but then Aaron Draper calls Rich, and he's like, "Yo, I'm in town with Eminem playing drums with Eminem. What's up with y'all?" And then we was like, "Shh." So I got pictures of me, 4 Philly dudes sitting around in Amsterdam on a link up, just happened out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And Aaron used to play drums in my band when I had a band. And like,
how about that, Rocky?
Yo. Okay, listen, Aaron played in my band. This dude plays for Adele and Eminem. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody just said to me the other day, they were like, I don't understand, where did Adam Blackstone and Kurt Chambers and them, like, where did they come from? I said, the Black Lily, like.
Hello.
It's just, it's a reason that, shout outs to Dame and Tiny Room for Elephants. It's a reason we did that short series, 6 degrees of the Roots, because that shit, that shit.
Yep. Shouts out to Dame for real, and Tiny Room and Yaya. They holding it down for sure. Yep. Love them. So yeah, listen, your J.ill Scott joint came up. You have these relationships. You've already been creating content kind of all your life because you've been into entertainment, which makes you think creatively and all of that. But how did you where did you learn to, not the booking side, but the content creation side? When for example, Love and Grit hit you up, they clearly recognized your work and was like, oh, she's the one. Let's bring her on. How does it work when you guys decide there's an episode you're going to do? Give me the conception to the publishing of that episode.
And just to give you a little background on the Love and Grit and the Visit Philly relationship, like that didn't come out of nowhere and this year either. Like back in my struggle, I guess one of the times I got fired from another radio station, I was producing video content for Philly 360, which at the time was like a branch of Visit Philly. So
Right.
we were already familiar with each other in a way too. But and it's crazy because if you would have asked me this question pre-COVID, oh, I would have been so excited to answer. I mean, I'm excited either way, but can I just tell you pre-COVID, like
Right.
me, Rachel, Justin, we got like about, I guess, 2 to 3, maybe 3 episodes. I'm not even sure, maybe 3 episodes out before COVID. And the way we did that show was we decided like we would try to go out as much as possible and interview people in their spaces.
Okay.
And so like we had done Patrice from Girls Auto Clinic. Again, these are relationships. I have met Patrice. I met Patrice like, I don't know, a decade ago. I met her at my mechanic's office, and I realized she was dope because she told me she was a woman who taught other women how to fix their cars. And I was like, she's beautiful, right? And I was like, I need to have you on my show. And so I put her on the radio. That's how a lot of times I got people on the radio. And so, yeah, so when we first started doing Love and Grit, we were like, so we went to Patrice's shop. We went to my girl, I'm so sorry, I forget her name, that has the girls museum, the Colored Girls Museum. You know,
Okay.
we were like, we wanted to make sure that we were telling diverse Philadelphia stories. And we even have an interview with us walking up and down the steps and her walking us through every room, you know. So it's a process where of me, Rachel, Justin, and we have a producer named Helena, and we kind of just throw stuff at each other, and then Helena organizes it as to when we're going to actually, but now it's Zoom. So it's like when we're going to do the Zoom.
Right.
But we still have great Zooms.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say we still have some great Zooms. I don't want to boast too much about these Philly relationships, but I will say between having people like Angela Nizzle on Love and Grit, we just had Sean Finney on Love and Grit. Rafiq. Sean Finney was a dude I met at a Black Thought birthday party in New York. Thanks to producer Lisa Cortez, Google her. From Philly, moved to Philly, was homeless, lived in his car, showered in the gym, got a temp job at the Academy, the Oscars. That temp job evolved to a point where they loved him so much they asked him what he wanted to do. He wants to diversify membership. And what does he do? He diversified it so much that he was the one who helped make that Moonlight year happen and from continued on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a lot. I just love it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. This is I just revel in these kinds of stories. You know, my company's called Indie Life for a reason. I'm you know me. I'm about this like upside, downside, left, right, and every way. I'm all about that life. And people go through crazy struggles to make it where you see them make it to. You know what I mean? And you don't know these stories so often. You just don't know these stories. And you know, it's funny too. So many of the shows that I see, and this is part of the inspiration behind this one, is that so many of the shows I see that interview people who've made it, they're just talking about all the cool stuff they're doing, not how they got there. You know what I mean? And not the struggles of like how they got there. They might mention, oh yeah, I slept on somebody's couch for a bit and and then they on. And I was like, look, that's not indie life. That's not how it happened. That's not how it happened at all. You know what I mean? You know, a good example of that I noticed, and everybody would know this reference, is Shark Tank. In the promos for Shark Tank, when the dude, is his name Kevin, the short dude with the bald head, they all kind of, yeah, with the bald spot, he's kind of mean.
Yeah.
So that dude, when he does his promo, he talks about being in college and starting some sort of radio thing, and next thing you know, he sold the company for like $1 billion or something, and that's the story. Now, look, it's a 30-second promo. I get it. You're not going to give a whole story, but how did you start a station and sell a station, and now you on like that? There's a whole lot going on in there. You know what I mean?
Who the mama and daddy was like? What was your struggle? Like,
I mean, hello. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm still in it. I mean, it's funny. I'm probably in one of the best. This is a really great chapter of my life, but because of this hustle and because it's been a hustle life, I'm still like, yeah, but what I got to do? Okay, because you know, this entertainment industry ain't no have no pension, no Social Security unless you work for a corporation. So you got to figure it out. Right. Hey, Stacey, I love you. Stacey Wilson's on.
Stacey.
It has been a journey.
I'm gonna give y'all this in front of everybody. Stacey Wilson is the fucking bomb. I have respected and loved this woman forever since I known her, since I met her. She's been a beast since I met her.
Look her up, y'all. Fly Girl, 2 R's. Look
her up. Girl all day, all day. Painter, event producer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, she's everything, and a pretty great best friend.
Just a good person. You know what I'm saying? Just a good person. Shouts out to my man, Mike Nice. You know what I mean? To him and
yo. That's right.
That's right. That's right. So give me so we're going to use Jill's situation, right? You said that came up. Now, you guys had the idea 3 months ago, or you started working on it 3 months ago?
Started working on it. Jill has had this idea for a while now. Okay. I can't remember. We had a conversation about this in New York when the Roots did the Grammy Jam in New York a few years ago. And to be honest, Jill kind of, I'm gonna remix what Quest said to me because he didn't say this. She said, like, yeah, I ain't doing this without you. And I was like, okay, boo, whatever.
Being like, hey. But then
you don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to try to be disappointed. That's why I'm a little bit of a pessimist. So
yeah.
But I think I cut you off. I'm sorry, Rafiq.
No, that's it. That's what I wanted to know. And so so the idea's been in her head. Mm-hmm. To finish, what did you guys first do? Because I think to people listening, it just sounds like you guys are busting up. You guys are girlfriends, right? So it's very easy, naturally flowing conversation. But how does it start from somebody saying, we got stories? How do you turn that into polished content?
And don't get it twisted. We are girlfriends, but that doesn't automatically mean that will sound great and come across great on a podcast, because I treat podcasts just like radio in a lot of instances where it comes to rhythm and getting, as co-host. So I'm trying to answer your question. So in the sense of how that came together, Jill made the call. Jill was like, I want Laiya and Asia, right? And me and Asia, we made sure we talk at least a few times a month. So from there, we figured out we got a producer. Her name is Eve's, really dope sister. She's in Atlanta. It don't even matter where she is because we're on Zoom. And what's important, what I love about Eve's is that she is a decade or more younger than we are. So that's really dope. And we sit on the Zoom and we'll come up with ideas. Like Eve has said to us, we've had sessions where we've just wrote down ideas of show topics, because the difference between J.ill and Questlove Supreme is Questlove Supreme, we always have a guest. It's always based on the guest story, their journey. J.ill is about conversation, hard conversations, easy conversations that you're not used to hearing Jill and Asia have, but conversation that us as sisters and as Black people have all the time, or need to have.
Right.
So that's how we form the content and what we're going to talk about. I mean, I think our second topic for our second show was white people shit we like. I think that was mine, because there's a lot of white people shit that I like to do.
Can I tell you, I need to be on that episode because I am all about that life. I hate this idea of white people shit and Black people shit, and because it's just all shit. But I love
Asia breaks that down from that perspective too, though, Rafi. Because she's like, well, what you just talking about adventure shit? You just talking about going outdoors? I'm like,
right.
Hair shit that is expensive, shit that yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we put these labels on them. You know what I'm saying? But I love stuff that people would call white people shit.
Exactly.
You know why not?
So go listen to the episode because it's pretty good.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you right now a secret. One of my favorite songs, I mean like top 20 songs of all time, is ABBA's Dancing Queen.
Like ABBA?
ABBA, A-B-B-A. ABBA, Dancing Queen. Yes. Hit the fan on that one. I'll take the fan.
On the song.
I'll take the fan on that one.
It's so commercial. You could have at least said, aha, take on me. Like that was my.
Of course. Yep, for sure. But ABBA Dancing Queen is my shit, isn't it?
You spin? Rafiq, do you spin on Dancing Queen? That's the first time I spun all the way in this year. All the way around. It would have been embarrassing.
Word. All right, so let's use that episode. So you came with the episode, right? White people shit. When you say we're gonna talk about white people shit, what happens? Is Eve's taking a bunch of notes? How do you guys get from, oh, this is a great topic? Do you just bust it up and then Eve is like grabbing great lines and you use those lines and build it later? How does it happen?
They'll ask what I mean, and then we'll start the conversation, and then Eve might go, wait, because we're gonna say that for the episode. But I'm writing it down. Like we might talk about it for 5 minutes just to understand that we all understand what each other talk, because we all come up with topics, you know. Because I think J.ill, I'm trying to think. I think J.ill this week it just came up as like the sexual assault one. So yeah, but yeah, we sit and we talk and we see if we can have a conversation about that, and then we write it down, and then we come back and talk about it.
And is each of you going back to your corners, separate corners, and writing what you think about that topic, or do you just kind of take the topic, marinate it on it, and then come back and just bust it up?
Somewhere in the middle. I mean, good host, I will say, good host will take notes and bring them to the show, and so you can have a reference for yourself. That is what a good host should do.
Indeed.
Sometimes I'm a good host. Sometimes, but I be sounding like I'm ready though.
You do, but you're a natural though. You're a natural. You got it. You got it. No, that's what's up. That's definitely what's up.
Prepare, so
yeah. And so, how does it on a technical side? Are you guys you just strictly using Zoom to shoot?
So yeah, we're using Zoom, and then I'm a microphone girl, so I usually use like my blue mic. I've had this for a long time. Oh, but I just got a new toy for when I travel because I went out the country a couple weeks ago, and I still have work to do because there's no such thing as vacation in this indie life. And so I got her. Ain't she cute?
Oh, look at that. All right, listen, I'm gonna make you get tech on me. I need the names of those microphones right now.
Okay, this is a blue mic. This is it's the blue. The blue is the actual style, but it's a Yeti. Yeti. YETI, a Yeti mic. And the style of it is a blue because they make different styles of snowball or whatnot. But this is a blue, and then I think my other one is a blue nano. Got you.
That's what's up. We're gonna put those in the link for on the chat for everybody if they're looking for a good microphone.
Yeah, and I have at the boyfriend's house. I got another mic. I keep a shout out to iHeart. They sent me a Rode Podcaster, which is really cool. But you just need to stand. It's like a whole stand and whatnot. Yeah. So,
you use any lighting in your spot?
You don't see them? You don't see them, Jones?
I see those.
All right. So I don't technically use it every day at work because we're just looking at each other and nobody sees
it. See it. Yes. There you go.
But
the ring lights.
Girl. and you know, she got her different settings and stuff. So sometimes that's off. Sometimes, you know, it depends. I can just. And you gotta just put it behind my computer. Child, this computer is on a TV tray. I like to keep it absolutely funky. Yeah. I am on a TV tray in my living room, and this is my little desk area. And I'm sitting, and the laptop is sitting on a hat box, like a cat box that they give y'all. They give y'all dudes a real nice when you have a real nice Michelin.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna show you mine. I'm propped up on old school book.
Oh, that's on low. So let me put you on game, Rafi. Oh Lord, I'm dropping my cocoa buttery.
Oh Lord.
Yes, you one of these, John. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jam Brad. That's hilarious. That's what's up.
And then I have I got my hard drive sitting here because you can't be in podcasting if you ain't got your great hard drive.
You need a good external hard drive. Can't be clouding up the cloud.
Exactly. And and go ahead and buy that Dropbox business. Cause
yes, it's worth it. I got one. I got like the whole super joint. So booking for Questlove's show. How does that happen? Does him and Sean G come up with ideas, drop a name? What's the process? You take a contact, you send out a formal email. Excuse me, greetings. We would like you to be presented on the next episode of Questlove is Talking Shit.
So it's funny. We kind of, what are we like? I think year 5 at Questlove Supreme. So some of that would have applied. It's different now. I also have a co-producer. Her name is Brittany. She's really dope. She kind of catches me whenever there's holes and whatnot. But as far as booking, it's a conversation between the three of us. Sometimes it could be somebody that I think is good, and I'm like, Amir, what you think about so and so? That's questioning. Or sometimes it's somebody that Amir ran into, and he's like, he just did that to me recently. Oh, I can't tell you that. Yeah, we supposed to have a real good end of the year. Somebody that like you probably won't. We can't even when we Zoom with her. She's not gonna be. I ain't gonna see her, and that's a good hint right there. Because who else would that be? But yeah, and that's just like I've been talking to so and so for a minute, and we friends now. We're gonna try to work this out. Let's stuff like that. Like usually that's how it happens. And then iHeart, because we're an iHeart podcast, will also pitch us people. So like, and especially now that all these movies are on Netflix and whatnot, that's a good way. We have y'all, we got an episode with Glenn Turman coming up.
Wow, really?
Oh my Lord. Well, Glenn Turman is in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix. Also if you watch Fargo, Dr. Senator. But yeah, that was an iHeart thing. And yeah, they like to, and it's usually based on a movie, but we'll take it and we'll be like, we still doing your whole life. We still getting into it.
No, that's what's up. That is definitely what's up. So at this point, because of who's involved, you guys just make phone calls. It's like, boom, I'm coming. That's the end of the story, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that we haven't got that we're working on. Like we're circling back. I believe this week we're circling back to like Paul McCartney. It's so odd though, because Amir's draw is interesting in itself.
Right.
So people are like, well, what is the category of guests you have? We don't really have. We have people who have dope stories who've done amazing things that have a story to tell.
Yeah. And so see, that's back to that blowing that whole black people stuff, white people stuff out the water. If it's fly, it's just fly.
Yeah, I'm like from Steve Miller to Roy Ayers to Ty Dolla $ign to whatever,
Steve Miller, like some Steve Miller band, Steve Miller? Down. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I really love if you just want to shake your tree, isn't that it? That's my shit. You want somebody theme song? That's one of my theme songs.
And from Tank to Tank and the Bangers, like that was dope too. She's
She's banging. Well, that's what's up. That is so what's up.
I just run into people and I'm like, I remember I was in a restaurant down the street from my house and I was so scared because I didn't even talk to them, I ain't gonna lie, but it was Carlos Santana and Cindy Blackman. And I was like, oh, I really wanna, but they just so cool. And I'm gonna get to them eventually. What's gonna happen?
Right.
This way, because I'm too
Carlos Santana, jeez. That's craziness. That is craziness. That's so dope. So tell me about what it's like now that you are in this podcast space. You're clearly thriving in it. It's going well. But we didn't talk about the acting. So where does the acting, is the acting still a pursuit, a passion, something you want to find a space to make more time for? How do you pursue that? And I'll say this too, or just on a personal, maybe emotional tip, what is it like finding success in a field that is not necessarily not your field, but was not necessarily the full intention of where your deep passions lie, but clearly you're very good at it and you've made some success with it. So how does that feel, sort of having something that you're very good at, doing well with, but you're still sort of sitting on something that you're like, oh, when I get the chance, I'm gonna do this too.
Right, like hoping somebody see me and they say, you'd be great with this commercial. I don't know, that's an interesting question, Rafiq, because I'm in it, right? And like at this time, I feel so blessed and I never want to negate my blessings, especially because of what everybody is going through right now, right? Like I'm incredibly blessed. I have 3 jobs and I'm not picking up trash, although for the longest I did want to do that because they get paid a lot of money. But it's hard to get in there. You have to be in a union. It's just, anyway, I'm sorry. When I was going through my hard times, I thought about.
Listen, I was a garbage man back in the day, so.
You were a garbage? How did you get in? Because that's a hard,
Girl, I knew somebody.
That's how it go. And then, people don't know they be making like $95,000 a year and stuff. Like,
don't get me started on the skills gap in this country and how much money we could be making that we are not making because we don't do those kind of jobs anymore.
So yeah, I tried. So I lie in between being thankful for my blessings, but also I'm also trying to keep my stuff organized because, like I said, the J.ill aspect is new. So I'm still want to do those other things. Like I said, there is no retirement in this thing, right? There's more retirement in that commercial acting thing because the Verizon dude and the Pine Sol lady ain't got to worry about nothing. So I still try to audition for stuff, and I still am subscribed to Cast and Frontier and all of the websites and whatnot. I will not give up because I cannot, because I don't want to work till I'm 80.
Right. I hear that.
But I lie in between that and being very, very thankful. Feeling very, very blessed. And feeling blessed, not just because I'm working, but feeling blessed because I'm working with my friends. I'm working with people I love. Like, I love Asia and Jill. Like, you know what I mean? We talk about stuff. And not for nothing, I can never negate the fact that one of the things that I ask God for, P.S., this is crazy being this age and realizing your relationship with God and saying things out loud, asking, working for things, and then him being like, or her being like, and here you go. That's some ill shit too, on a side note. Sorry about the profanity. But yeah, so I ask, and so I do that, and then I just ask God to, I don't know, I just pray on it. I'm still trying to organize all of these things and still do those things. Maybe there'll be some great voiceover thing that I'll get. I'm still doing voiceovers and stuff. A girl just got a lot of jobs. It is what it is. Dude, you ain't got no kids, you might as well have a bunch of jobs right now.
I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the diversity organization, and we're gonna have them hit up Progressive and try to get you to be the Black Flo for Progressive.
No, Flo, you don't understand about Flo. Flo is a super actress too. Like, you know, Flo come from the groundlings. Like, Flo is no joke. I do not diminish the ability of that actress because she's amazing.
Wow. I know the groundlings. I know the groundlings. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, anybody watching out there, if you got any connects, you know what I'm saying, for the commercial, let your girl know.
Yeah, girl need a team. I'm just joking. It's like, I know Philly people, so it's like you really got one. It's just about putting them to work and asking for things when you need them.
And asking. You know what? I did a lot of asking on this program I'm doing now. I usually don't ask for shit. I just go do stuff. And now I was like, you know what? It's time to be asking. So I've been asking people, and they've been answering.
It's been working. Yo, you know that just happened for Kindred the other day too, right? Like, they did a whole GoFundMe, and they was all scared, and like 10 G's in a day.
Right. Yep.
Bring people good joy. Like, they want to make sure that you can continue to bring joy.
It is very true. Yeah. Well, that's what's up. I really appreciate it. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna wrap up in a sec. Give me a word to the wise for folks who are thinking that they want a podcast, thinking they want to create content. People hear so much about create content. You know what? Let me ask you this though. Do you find there's a difference between creating the type of content you create and, let's say, for example, folks who are on like, what's the new John? What's the super quick little story? Reels, not Reels, but
you talking about the one that's already about to go there? The one that had the 10 minutes.
TikTok. That's the one.
That's TikTok. Okay. I wasn't talking about TikTok. Okay. Yeah. What about TikTok?
You know, people creating that kind of content because people put a lot of work behind them little 10-second stories. You know what I'm saying?
They let the Chinese in their phone like that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, is there a difference between creating one type of content versus another type of content?
Well, yeah.
I mean, feel like it's.
Just think about it, right? Like, at the end of the day, as dope and as monetizing that TikTok can be for some, it's quick. That content, you're not going back to it in a year, 2 years, 3 years. I will say that one of the great things I'm blessed with is being able to create content with people like Quest, where it is, I think that you will always want to go back and listen to this. Look, we had Bonnie Pointer, you know what I mean? Her brother and her sister. You'll always want to go back and listen to this Cree Summer interview. You never heard Cree Summer be interviewed like this. Like, right. So I think that if that's what you want, that's great, you know. But if you want something, a little bit of a legacy, you know. I mean, I don't even know how long TikTok videos, how long they stayed there. I'm not on it.
No, it's super quick though. It's in and out.
I got enough with the new things that IG is creating. I can't keep up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what's up. So listen, any word that you want to give to the folks, anybody who is looking to start creating content, what would you tell them? How do they get started?
I would just say do it. I will tell you, it's funny. I didn't talk about this, but on my journey when I first moved here, just me trying to figure out what I want to do and find myself, I created a web series called Philly, about
Very cool.
Philadelphians that moved to LA that were doing
I
dope
know.
things that you didn't know about. Khadijah's on one of them, the girl's couch I slept on. But I would say do it. And I think that was a advice that Angela always gave me. She's my writing mentor in a way. And she's always like, Laiya, stop talking about it. Like, I've got to a point where people tell me ideas. I'm like, you just talking? Like, is it written down somewhere? And just do it, because now we have iPhones and stuff. We really have no excuse. And I think it's harder sometimes for people our generation and older, because we're so used to so many steps and who you know and we're not used to just being like, oh, I can just put it out and get my friends to support and like make sure that they put it out there. And then it's like, yeah, just do it. It's no longer is it you got to have this person, that person. Just do it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. So wait a minute. So should somebody get a writing mentor?
I think you should have a mentor, period, for whatever you want to do.
I agree. That is a huge deal. I've had amazing people in my life tell me what to do. People that are older than me, people who are just a bit older than me, people who are way older than me, people who have been just learned about, just sort of hit the mark of where I'm hitting. People who have been doing it so long that it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And if you find those people in your life, hit them up. Tell them what you're trying to do.
I got radio mentors. Shout out to Helen Little. I got TV. And even Khadijah is a mentor to me because she went to AFI out here. She's done TV. She's been on set. She's True Blood, Kaminsky effort. So I think somebody put out a quote on Instagram the other day about your friends. And if you can only party with your friends, but you can't do business with them, that's a problem. And I'm only as talented to me. I just feel like I'm only as talented. Well, I'll put this, I'm only as powerful as my friends. And so it's about your collective. You got to have strong collectives, man. I got a little something as everything. I got a doctor over here, a lawyer over here. I'm trust.
Yeah. That's what's up. Don't burn those bridges.
Don't burn no bridges. All this stuff is about the bridges. Shout out to Charlie Mack. You know bridges.
Yeah. Big up to Charlie Mack for real. Yep. Well, that's what's up. I'm so thankful to have you on, Laiya. Thank you so much for taking the time, getting up mad early. It's like
thank you for this bridge, Rafiq.
Listen, got to make these connections, make them work. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. I was so glad to see some of my friends in the chat hanging out. You know what I mean? Yeah. For sure. Yo, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rafiq. Love you. Mwah.
Definitely. Best of luck and God bless for everything you're doing. No doubt. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next episode. We are 4 episodes in on this bad boy. We are going to take a break for December. Your boy is brain dead. You know what I'm saying? I've been working crazy hard the last 2 months. You have no idea on this Black Friday's cancel campaign. I will say this will be void after today, but today's the end of the Black Friday's cancel goodie bag sweepstakes. So if you can, get out there, get online, go to your friend's business page, shout them out, create a story out of it, and use our hashtags, and you'll be entered to win one of these 5 amazing goodie bags that we put together. So yeah, that's it. Just shout out your peoples and what they're doing. Some of Laiya's friends, shout out Laiya, what she's doing. You can win one of these goodie bags. Simple as that. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next episode of My Indie Workspace. This is Fico signing off. Bye, La.
Oh, bye. I'm still here. All right. Bye, y'all.